Impact Radio 102.1 FM. The future is now.
Welcome to the high side of life. Join us every day at High Impact 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
I just want to be yeah.
High Impact Radio 102.1 FM. The future is now. High Impact Radio 102.1 FM. The future is now. High Impact Radio 102.1 FM. The future is now.
Hello and welcome to On Record, where every word matters on High Impact 102.1 FM. We are live on YouTube and on X. I am Vivian Oguche. Now on the program, we discuss the actions, inactions of government ministries, departments and agencies, as well as business and health affairs that shape our worldview. The program also encapsulates personalities and institutions that make decisions that affect the lives of people one way or the other. And then we also avail you, the listeners and viewers, the opportunity of calling in to the program and ask questions from our guests on the topic of discussion for the day. Now, political communication is an interactive process concerning the transmission of information among politicians, the news media, and the public. The process operates downward from governing institutions towards citizens, horizontally in linkages among political actors, and also upward from public opinion toward authorities. Now, political communication has always been central to the electoral and policy making process, but since the early 1990s, certain important developments have fundamentally altered this process, particularly post-war trends in the mass media, moving from the traditional world of newspapers, radio, and television broadcasting toward the internet. It is on this note that we will be discussing political communication, analyzing how politicians and government communicate with the public. When we come back, Honorable Lanre Jaji joins us. Stay with us.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea?
Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a space for meetings or conferences? All these are possible with High Impact Studios. Don't bring down your creativity. Let's help you take it high
and out of this world with our state-of-the-art equipment and first-class studio space.
We give you the quality you deserve at the best rate.
For more details, call 0706 393 5694 or 0915 958 1881. High Impact Studios, the future.
High Impact Radio 102.1 FM.
Tease your taste buds from a world of delectable choices. High Impact Planet. Fun just got real.
High Impact Radio.
Welcome back. The show is on record where every word matters. You're right here on High Impact 102.1 FM. My name is Vivian Oguche. Remember that we are on High Impact 102.1 FM, live on YouTube, and also on X at High Impact 102.1 FM. You can also watch us live on High Impact TV on Nicomsat 42 degree east. To join the conversation, you can call 0700 1021 1021. Tell us if you think politicians are talking to you the way you want to be talked to. Do they address issues that concern you, that bite hard? Of course, this is the opportunity for you to call in and have your say. I take the number again, 0700 1021 1021. You can also send us messages via WhatsApp, number 0907-224-5081, 0907-224-5018. And my guest on the show this morning is going to be none other than Honorable Larry Jaji. He is the Speaker of the People's Parliament. Honorable, it's good to have you on the show this morning.
Good morning, my sister. Good morning, Nigeria.
Yes, it's your designation is interesting, as well as the topic of discussion this morning. So let's get down to it, right? What are the key messages that politicians and governments aim to convey to the public?
Well, it's quite obvious that, in most cases, politicians are not talking to the people, and most especially government too. They have their own manifesto, they have their own things that they want to do, and the best way to operate is to look for a didactic means of communication. At least you have to listen to people, to discuss with them. It is not the fact that you have your manifesto or whatever. If in my community I don't need a borehole, all I needed is a good functioning, affordable, qualitative healthcare services, and probably the person representing me is not looking for that, or probably the government is not even providing that. I mean, one way or the other, the government is not communicating. The politician of a particular place is not communicating. So in a situation where people have forgotten about this town hall meeting of a thing that it used to be during the days of our father, the lives of our Awolowo, may his soul rest in perfect peace, where they normally contact and communicate with the people that are being led. I mean, so both of them can, have a kind of discussion together so that we'll know what we really needed in our community or in our central district. This is all that matters. But in a situation where government says, yes, I think I have a housing policy, I want to build 250,000 houses, low-cost housing, I want to do this, I want to do that, might not be the solution for people.
True. Now, there is an example you raised, that caught my attention. Town hall meetings. It's something that's been lost, right? And so we have cases where local government chairmen do not reside in the local government area where they govern. Am I right?
Yes, you are right.
Yeah, so how do you handle a situation like that?
Well, what we normally do is we keep on talking. In the parliament, we continue to talk, we continue to, bring people back, to the track. Tell them what they are supposed to do, what they are supposed to know. But in most cases, that is why electorate need to be very careful when you are going to choose your leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, people are not voting for personalities or individuals, they are voting for political parties. Political parties that have a very good structure in place, so there is no way you want to put them, they will still win election, which is not supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, in a situation where somebody is not residing in a locality or in a community or in a local government, you don't vote for such person if the person says he wants to come and, for a second term or whatever. The difference is the case here. But I'm sure Nigerians will continue to learn, we continue to until we want to change our psyche too, that not necessarily that somebody should give me money before you vote for me.
Yes.
Or somebody should, that is the way we can get it right. So that is why if voting of a thing can be incorporated, it will have been better. I can sit down inside my house and vote for whoever I think I like. You don't necessarily need to see me. So if I've not collected any kobo from you, or even if I've collected and I decided to vote inside my room the other way, that is my palaver. So we need a lot of things to really, rejuvenate and probably incorporate into the political system that can be able to help the political system. Everything fundamentally is wrong.
Wow. Now let's take a look at this now, because eventually this is solution based. As we slowly cruise to the wrap up of the show later on, we will be taking a look at how this can be corrected. So how do politicians use rhetoric and speech writing techniques to persuade the public?
Yes, they have writers and they have speech makers that I would have coached them to want to say, okay, especially when they know some of the things that you are lacking in your community or your senatorial district or in your constituency. These are the things that will bring up and come and use for campaign to you. And yes, we are going to do this, further roads from there to there. We are going to make sure that there is fiber water supply in your community here. We know you have been lacking for the past 20 years. Other successive governments have not been doing it. In my own time, when I come in, I'm going to do this. Things that they know that, if people are lacking, and definitely nobody will want to hear that. I will not want to listen to such people. Are they really walking the talk? Are they really doing as they have said? So
those are important questions. Those are important questions you just raised. So that is the way a politician will use rhetoric and speech writing to cajole the public. Now, if, for example, they make promises that they don't fulfill, how does the public in turn communicate with these politicians? How do you convey to them your dissatisfaction as a public or as a voter?
Let me give impact these photos. What we are talking about is what we are doing now. Because by the time you bring up programs like this and you enlighten people and you tell them what and what, and you even make mention of particular local government or particular individual that is the politician that is representing a senatorial district or whatever, and many names are mentioned, people will come to their senses. They will know that this particular person is not doing this person is not doing that. So we have to continue to talk until we have the opportunity of, after 3 years, either in the local government or 4 years, for you to want to say, okay, the person is coming for a second term and this is not going to be given, then the people of that community will have to shine their eyes and make sure that they don't repeat the mistake they made the other time. That is the only way.
On the newspaper reviews this morning, my colleague Uche and I were talking about stomach infrastructure and how voters sell their votes because of poverty. That is a factor too that is responsible for people voting for leaders that do not fulfill their promises. How can this menace be tackled? Do you have an idea?
Yes, the menace can only be tackled if government is very responsible and very responsive. If you have put in place all the necessary machineries in place, to make sure that each Nigerian, economically, we are buoyant, economically, we are independent. I, in my family, my wife, we have a job, my children that left university have a job. I mean, one way or the other, the economy is booming. There are a lot of industries. There is food, in the country and things like that. I mean, somebody would not want to come and take a Congo of curry or rice to come and suggest it to vote for him when I know he's not the right person. So until that is done, the poverty line between the Pujols and the Presbyterians are so wide that unless the gap is bridged, I mean, there is no way we want to solve that. But notwithstanding, we can still continue to do enlightenment program by talking to people to understand, to change their psyche, to make them to understand that if you go the wrong way, if you collect 3,000 naira or 10,000 naira for your stomach infrastructure today during electioneering campaign and voting, you are going to suffer for the next 4 years. I mean, you are going to be told that, and you know that your vote of 10,000 naira you have collected cannot even sustain you for 2 days or 1 day, then you have to rethink and do the needful.
Absolutely. Now, talking about narrowing the gap you referred to earlier on, how do politicians and governments, as well as the public, utilize social media to communicate with the people, considering that we are in an age of, digital overload right now?
Yes, they have opportunity. Majority of them have press men. They have, essay on media, essay on public communications and things like that. We have very good program. I mean, through your essays, you can really tell the person to go on live television. So you yourself can even come up on the live television and live people, talk to people. These are the programs that I have done. These are the things that I'm still going to do, and things like that. As government, as a politician, these are the things that you are supposed to do. Then, the electorate is true. The population can, reply you that where that medium too. I mean, let's say for example we are having a listening program now, and somebody is talking, and we are also replying the person. It's an opportunity to answer whatever claim a politician or a government might have said they have done and things like that. Until we continue to do this, we are not likely to get there.
Earlier on as well, we're talking about information, information dissemination. Where there is lack of information, there will be assumptions, right? People just make assumptions. I remember the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, during his administration, most of the times or sometimes, he will travel out of the country. People will not know where he went to, and then speculations will be rife. In fact, there was one time some people said he was Jubril from Sudan, that he had been cloned and all of that. Now, juxtapose that to this present administration, that of President Bola Tinubu, where you have problems with scripts. I mean, they dish out, a communication, or they send out a script to the masses and then withdraw it because of mistakes. Now, take a look at these two scenarios. What strategies are employed or could be employed to manage crisis communication and maintain transparency?
The best thing is to be open to people, let them understand. If the governance is all about people, so that the government must be part of the government. Let people understand and know quite all right, this and this. That. Take for instance, if I'm the husband in the house and I earn 100,000 naira as my salary, the person is probably to tell my wife to show her my pay slip, so that she doesn't ask me for, a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. I mean, you understand quite well that my husband doesn't have this money. It would be very foolish for me asking. So if the government is carrying the people along, this is the steps that we are servicing. This is the amount that we have gotten. This is the what. This is this, and they are so transparent. People will not even be asking questions. They've been carried along. So there is no way there is going to be a lacuna. I mean, everybody is going to be on the same page with the government and the people they are governing. So it is very, very important. You have to carry people along to your media aids and etc. etc. You two have to listen and probably take questions and answer questions. That's what we call governance.
Now, talking about taking people along, carrying people along. Recently, there were talks in the media of the Senate saying no amount of blackmail will stop them from buying a presidential yacht. Then there's been talks of presidential jets and all of that. Now, in this age, especially in Nigeria, where there is hardship, hunger in the land, and you have people talking about buying yacht, jets. There is a huge gap. Now, what I want you to address is, how does government explain this away? How do you say that you feel the pains of the people, and then there's this gaping massive gap? It's as if you don't really feel their pain. How do you carry the people along in a scenario like this?
Well, the truth of the matter is, a sensitive government will not want to do anything that can jeopardize the interest of the masses.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm talking to you now, things are not very easy in Nigeria. Nigerians cannot feed very well. I told them that open the border for 6 months, bring in a lot of agricultural machinery, let us put them machines so that they can be able to be good for cultivation. After 6-7 months of cultivation, close your border, let our farmers continue to feed Nigerians. But in a situation where you are giving a misplaced priority, I mean, people giving people misplaced priority, people will not want to respect your government, will not want to. Yes, we know that the safety of Mr. President is very important. His comfort is important so that he can be able to think very well and do the needful as at when due or whatever. But not still withstanding, if there to be some, Sinai climbs or from other countries, they want to put into consideration the feelings and the hardship that their people are going through, rather than want to give consideration. I've seen a president in this world that have been going on a chartered flight or on a passenger flight. The last time I was in Amsterdam, I saw their president riding a bicycle. I mean, so what we're trying to say is we need to change ourselves, we need to change our ideas so that we give priority to things that needed to be given priority to. Agriculture is very important, security is important, electricity is important. These are the things that we need to be focused on. I'm sure you're going to be surprised that this person talking to you. I'm a lover of this government.
Yes.
So, but you just have to say the truth.
Yeah.
That is it.
Absolutely. And now saying the truth is one of the things you're talking about, right? Transparency is very key.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, especially in political seasons, how effective are political advertisements and campaign slogans in swaying public opinion? Now, you are a politician yourself, so you are just the perfect person to, talk about
to answer the question.
Yes, please.
You see, yes, political strategies, propagandas, informations, campaigns, normally sweeps, the electorates off their feet. But what we need to always understand too is that won't there be another time that I think I want to come back and canvass for votes from these people? I mean, a particular community now, they don't have water, they don't have, healthcare facilities, and I'm here now telling them that don't worry, it will be provided.
Mm-hmm. Okay, are you there, Honorable? We will definitely get Honorable back online, but we have been talking about communication between politicians and the electorate. Very, very insightful one it has been. We will quickly take a short break, and when we come back, the discussion continues. Stay with us.
Welcome to the high side of life. Join us every day at High Tech 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
I just want to be yeah.
Something big is in town. Something powerful and majestic. A mammoth creation destined to become a legend by all who encounter it. High Impact Planet, Nigeria's biggest family theme park, with facilities designed for friends, families, or large groups under a relaxing atmosphere. Be welcomed by wowing displays of animatronics, thrill out with realistic arcade games, or enjoy a number of thrilling hot racing park rides. Experience the 5D and 12D cinemas and challenge your mates with bumper cars and go-kart races. Don't forget to slide into the ice rink or simply take time out to enjoy a pizza at our delightful restaurant and dessert spot, or at the exquisite club lounge. High Impact Planet, 12 Lagos Ibadan Expressway, Ibafo, opposite MFM Prayer City. Visit high-impactplanet.com for details and inquiries. Fun just got real.
Foment, foment, foment.
Radio 102.1 FM. The future is now.
The show is on record right here on High Impact 102.1 FM. Right here, every word matters. We have been talking with Honorable Daji, who is Speaker of the People's Parliament. Honorable, thanks for coming back online again.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, so I would let you land on your line of thoughts before I pose the next question to you. You were talking about the effectiveness of political advertisements and slogans.
Yeah, so like I said, it has a kind of effect on the masses, on the electorate, simply because, the political parties have really structured, their campaign, their slogans, their manifestos, their songs, have been so well perfected to understand that there is no way, you want to buy into it. But buying into it is not all that matters than, putting into action things that can make life better for the people that you are going to govern. It really matters. It really matters. But how I wish Nigerians, can be, so, sensitive and be so right thinking by making sure that even if you have come to cajole me this time around, in the next 4 years, I won't allow you to do that for me again.
Mm-hmm.
So that is just it. I won't allow you to come and do that, or you won't come and bamboozle me again in another 4 years.
I know that there was a very popular slogan that brought in this incumbent administration, Emiloko, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So if, for example, an electorate is not very happy with the performance of this administration, that particular slogan will not work for a second term, will it?
It's not likely. It's not likely unless the needfuls are done.
All right, now, before the presidential elections, before the D-Day, exactly, I'm talking about this particular president now, before the elections that brought him in took place, there were polls all over, and the results of these polls were against the incumbent president. So this is my question. What role do public opinion polls and focus groups play in shaping political communication strategies and outcomes during elections?
Well, in Nigeria, in most cases, it doesn't necessarily have an effect because it might, go the other way around. Like you have just mentioned now that probably the poll was against Mr. President, and the outcome of the result shows that Mr. President, won the election. I mean, which one can easily understand that he did because, there are some strategic moves that were put in place before the election. Take, for instance, the G5 governors that were in PDP and were trying to make sure that they were voted for APC. Look at the OB that was supposed to have probably each tent with article in the first place, probably just to balance it. But one way or the other, political strategically, they made sure that both of them went their different ways, which will weaken the votes that they will have gotten. Those are political strategies. So these are the things that normally plays out at the end of the day. So your opinion polls or whatever might not come to play when there are some other political strategies that could be put in place either before the election or during the election itself. So that is what is happening.
Yeah, is this something that happens in Nigeria alone? Because if you look at the US or the UK, for example, most of these polls, what they say actually becomes true.
Yes, it happens in Nigeria alone because what they will say in the UK or other countries will come to play because the opinions that were cast then, that were put into consideration, were genuine. I mean, these are not opinions that you want to, unless something scandalous happened before the election.
Okay.
Say, for instance, probably the president of that particular country, did something so disgraceful, like raping or whatever. I mean, that the opinion poll might change. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
But in Nigeria, it is not.
I know, right? Now, I keep going back to the former administration. Former President Muhammadu Buhari, once upon a time, put out a statement through his media aide that he also has the right to his privacy. Right. So this is the question I want to ask you. As a servant to the people, because that's who a leader is supposed to be, right? A servant to the people who elected him. How do governments balance transparency and secrecy in their communication with the public?
Yes, I mean, they can balance it. Yeah, there might be some things that might not be revealed, that might be too private. To Mr. President, to any political leader. But immediately you are in that office, you don't own yourself again. You are the property of Nigeria. You are accountable to us. We want to know how, if possible, how you are eating, what is wrong with you. If you have a headache, you can tell us. If you don't tell us, your aide must be able to tell us. If you are not feeling well, you must tell us. If you are doing anything, you must know. Because we are using our money, hard money, our resources to fund you, to keep you as a president. Because, if you understand the entitlements, of a president or a governor or whatever, you understand that they don't spend a dime, a kobo of their personal money to do anything in government house. So you are a property. You must be able to know. But there's nothing bad. All this one. There is another president, last president was saying that, he's entitled to his privacy. Yes, to some extent. Probably you're having a relationship with your wife, you don't want to know that. But anything that has to do with governance, that has to do with what you're going to do, for the people of the country, we must know. They are our property.
Wow. Now that is very, very final. The way you said it, you are property. Well, let's take a look at this. If you notice, this is a pendulum swinging between how a politician should communicate effectively and how the electorate can communicate with his or her leader. Now, what techniques are used to manage political image and personal branding?
Well, the best way is to still show transparency. Political image, anybody that's holding an office, must always be very careful so that you don't get yourself involved in anything that can, be very disgraceful. You want to put into consideration that, an irresponsible person cannot rule a responsible one. It's not possible. So you have to maintain a very good dignity when you are in office, even before you get there. That is why you try to check out those people that have become president of the United States of America right from their cradle. They will have been nurtured.
Mm-hmm.
This one is likely to be the president of Nigeria. He's not the president of the United States of America. He's not somebody that has gotten himself involved in rape, in murder, in anything that could, tarnish the image of their president. So the same thing here too. So it's very important that whoever that's in position of authority, before you get there, when you are there, maintain a very good, personality and dignity. Then the people too that you are governing, you must be transparent to them. You must understand that you can see what is happening in Kenya, my sister.
Mm-hmm.
We don't pray for such to happen. And so that is why a leader must carry along his people. Let them understand what you are facing, what you are doing, the steps you are taking that is benefiting them, that is they are taking decisions because of their interest. By the time you do that, you have a very good image already.
You alluded to international politics, so I'm going to be posing this question to you. Take a look again at what is happening in the UK. Rishi Sunak just lost. He's no longer the Prime Minister. He's back to being an MP. And the thing is, one of the reasons why, one of the factors that played in, these elections was where both parties stood as regards the Israel-Gaza war. So it means what happens in Israel and Gaza has an effect on the elections in the UK and has an effect in the elections on Nigeria. So how do politicians balance this so that they don't, how will I say it now, fizzle their chances in their countries? Yes.
Yes, they need to really understand the international politics very well before you make a step, before you make a move. So, I'm happy that you just mentioned the Gaza war of the thing now. So a good leader, a good politician must understand the international politics well, that, okay, if I pitch tent with these people, what is likely to happen to me? If I pitch tent with these people, so you must understand it very well, because majority of all these international communities have a say in your country. And I'm talking to you now. All the mining that we had that was being done in Nigeria were not being done by Nigerians alone. Some foreigners are here mining majority of our, mineral resources, and it is our government that allows them. So one way or the other, there is a kind of bilateral relationship between the two countries. I wouldn't have allowed you to come and take something away from my country if we don't have a kind of a pact. So that is what is happening. So you must be able to understand, whoever that you are going to support or the camp that you are going to be, if you know is going to be tantamount to the interests of the people that you think they are supporting you internationally as a country, you need to be very careful.
Yes, as we slowly cruise to the end of the show now, I would like to ask this question. How has political communication evolved over time, and what technological advancement have influenced it?
Well, it could be both over time, but the main thing is we cannot be how do I put it? You cannot continue to bamboozle or continue to cajole or people all the time unless we do the needful. If you are able to go scot-free today, you are not likely to go scot-free tomorrow.
No, but this is the question. So, I was asking, has political communication evolved over time? And if the answer is yes, what technological advancement has influenced this evolution?
Okay, yes, it has evolved over time, and I think what really made it to evolve is, via social media this time around.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to probably even be at a political campaign ground before you can know what is happening, or before you can know what this particular political party is going to dish out for you if he wins or she wins the election and things like that. So it is somehow very, there, and it is the social media that is really propelling, political communications and things like that.
All right. So we are coming to the solution now. So what ethical considerations arise in political communication, and how can they be addressed?
Well, the solution now is for, politicians that are vying for political posts to have a fundamental notion and believe that they need to communicate with their, people, and must be ready to even listen. I just made mention of the town hall meeting of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the situation of things in the country, if I'm a senator and I'm coming back to my senatorial district that I want to have a tete-a-tete with my people will think that I've brought something from Abuja, so the largesse must be shared. So that is why majority of the, politicians are running away. They don't want to, do that kind of a town hall meeting of the thing, because you cannot just talk to them and say you want to be going like that. You must drop envelopes. And dropping of envelopes is what they don't want to do, because they want to gather money, to execute the next election that is coming. So if you have given all the money now, how do you give them money again, probably to sort yourself out during the second term, bid of a thing? But which means the electorate still needs to change their psyche, tell, the politician, emphatically that we are telling you to come home. Please, when you are coming, don't bring any problem for us, don't bring any dime for us. We are not interested in your money. Let us come and judge together and see how we can move our community forward and things like that. I'm telling you, by the time that one is done, everything will be put in place, and a lot of people will smile, and everybody will be okay.
Wow, it's good with everybody smiling and being okay. Finally now, not too long ago, I visited Alabarago. It's on the outskirts of Lagos. It's a lepers colony, that's what it's called, lepers colony. You have blind lepers there, you have deaf lepers there, you have mute lepers there. And one of the complaints they had was that they were marginally disenfranchised during electoral seasons. Now, this is the question, right? How do politicians and governments engage with diverse audiences and address marginalized communities like this one I just mentioned?
Well, they normally go to this type of communities to campaign to them. And in most cases, they are marginalized simply because the the electoral system that we are using has to do with printing, and somebody that is a leper may not have all his fingerprints well embodied in his hand, so he might not be able to vote, or probably if you are using the card readers of a thing that you have to put your fingerprints, and so one way or the other they might not be at times they don't vote the way I'm saying it. And if anybody should go there and campaign to them that we are going to do this for you, we are going to do that for you, they should look for a solution. Whether it's going to be on an agreement that instead of them complaining or probably killing or whatever, they can be allowed to be counted, so that it could be incorporated into the electoral process, so that with political party representatives A, B, C, D on ground, so that there won't be manipulation, there won't be cheating, there won't be whatever. So it will be better. It will be better that way based on the agreement. But all that matters too is that all these people too, in terms of social amenities, social provisions, must be given to them too, so that they can feel that they are part of the country, they are part of the citizens of this world, so that they too can have good water, qualitative, healthcare services, free medical services if possible, good shelter, etc., etc. That is when we can say we are doing something well for them.
Very well said, Honorable. That's a safe place for us to land. Thank you so much for being a part of the show this morning.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. All right, so I have been speaking with Honorable Lanre Djadji, Speaker of the People's Parliament, and we have been taking a look at political communication, basically analyzing how politicians and government communicate with the public. I have been Vivian Obuche. Thank you so much to everyone who contributed to making the show a success. And a bigger thanks to you for listening and watching. Until I come your way again, have a fantastic weekend ahead. Bye for now.
Welcome to the high side of life. Join us every day at Times at 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
I just want to be high.